Stamford 911, where's your emergency?
231 Rock Clement Road.
What's the
Send
problem?
the police. Send the police.
What's the problem there?
The chimp killed my friend.
What's the problem with your friend?
Oh, please.
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
Send the police up with a gun. With a gun. Hurry
Who
up.
has a gun?
Please hurry up. He's killing my girlfriend.
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend.
Who's killing your friend?
Chimp, my chimpanzee.
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
Yes. He ripped her apart. Hurry up.
With a gun.
Hurry up, please.
There's someone on the way.
On February 16, 2009, the chimpanzee Travis embarked on a horrific act that the people around him never expected from him. Travis had known Charla, his owner Sandy's close friend, for many years, and the relationship between the two was quite good. But one day, Travis chose to fatally attack Charla, to whom he had always endeared himself. As soon as he saw her from afar, he quickly ran toward the woman. He jumped on her and started tearing apart Charla's face and body with his sharp teeth and muscular arms. Travis only lost his life after the police, arriving at the scene, fired a few shots. No one expected such an attack from him, because Travis was almost like a well-behaved child, and people said that he had no history of aggressive incidents in his past. How did this chimpanzee, who had won the love and trust of many people, suddenly go crazy? The chimpanzee was born in 1995, Travis's life. At that time, he did not have a name and was staying in a shelter with his parents. The couple, Sandy and Jerry Harold, had been wanting to adopt a chimpanzee for a while. They contacted the shelter and bought the chimpanzee for exactly $50,000. The name chosen was that of the couple's favorite artist, Travis Street. Travis, born to two chimpanzees in the wild forests of Africa, had now become the pet of an American family. The chemistry between our couple and Travis was undeniable from the beginning. Our couple loved the energetic and playful side of Travis. Travis quickly adapted to the couple. He was no longer their pet, but more like their baby. Travis wore a diaper underneath and children's clothes on top. As he got older, he gained skills just like a human. Travis could open doors with keys. He could change channels with the remote. He could drive a car. He could water the flowers. He could turn on the computer and look at the images in the family album. He brushed his teeth and ate at the table with the couple. He loved ice cream and had memorized the day and time an ice cream truck would visit their neighborhood. As soon as the ice cream man arrived, Travis would go and get his ice cream. As soon as the ice cream man arrived, Travis would go and get his ice cream. And Travis would accompany them even in their work. He would jump into the truck with them. He would wear a t-shirt and hat with the company's logo and hit the road with the couple. Our couple slept with Travis. They showered with Travis. In fact, this is incredibly wild. Travis drank wine with the couple. I'm talking about literally clinking glasses and drinking wine at the table. Travis had become virtually the couple's own child. Travis was loved not only by his owners, but also by his neighbors. He loved playing with people and never made a wrong move. Neighbors who played and wrestled with him always said Travis was someone who knew where to stop. One of the couple's neighbors used the phrase that Travis was better behaved than my own nephews. Even the police in the neighborhood got along well with Travis. A few police officers from the department had taken photos with this mischievous and playful chimpanzee. Travis was such a lively and at the same time obedient animal that he quickly attracted the attention of agencies and started acting in commercials. For example, in this commercial, the woman was trying to teach Travis sign language.
Let's call it a night. Thank you. You're welcome.
And eventually, she could communicate with Travis.
Thank you. You're welcome. welcome.
Yes, we all have the same question in our minds. If Travis was so well behaved, how did the 2009 incident happen? Hadn't Travis had any incidents before? 2 incidents before 2009, 2 developments that occurred in 96 and 2003, showed us the warning signs in Travis warning signs. When the incident Travis caused in 2009 gained worldwide attention, a woman named Leslie came forward and said that Travis tried to attack her in 96. She had seen Travis inside a car while walking down the street and wanted to greet him with her hand.
I asked her if I could say hello to thee. She said absolutely. So I started reaching to shake his hand, and he grabbed it when it got to the side view mirror on her side and started pulling me towards, inside the car. And then I'm pulling back and he bit down on my hand.
Sandy blamed the woman in this incident and said that Travis became aggressive as a reaction due to the woman's sudden movements.
I mean, she just went like this inside the car, not outside the car, inside, and it was a Corvette. There's not much room, and she just threw her hand right inside. Oh, I love chimps, I love chimps.
Leslie stated that her hand bled as a result of the bite. She tried to go to a police department to file a complaint, but no action was taken. This incident didn't escalate and simply faded away. The other incident took place in 2003, and this time it was much more dramatic. Travis was traveling in a vehicle with our couple. He was wearing his seatbelt and his window was open. Then, suddenly, a man on the street threw an empty plastic bottle at Travis, and Travis took off his seatbelt at that very second. He opened the car door and started chasing the man. The man's self-preservation instinct was enough to survive, and as soon as he saw a 90-kilogram mass of muscle chimpanzee running towards him, he immediately took off and disappeared from Travis's sight. But this time there was another problem. Travis didn't want to get back into the car. Travis was running around, jumping and climbing on top of cars. He wasn't aggressive, but he was hyperactive. He had single-handedly blocked traffic, and horns were honking everywhere. Sandy and Jerry were giving Travis his favorite junk food to lure him back into the vehicle. But Travis would go inside the vehicle. He would take his junk food and immediately go back outside. Eventually, police teams arrived, and this time, Travis started running away from the police like a cartoon scene. The environment turned into a circus show, and the sounds of horns were replaced by laughter. After 2 hours of effort, Travis was finally put back into the vehicle. No report was filed about the incident. No lawsuit was opened. Because some police officers in the department knew Travis and said that he did not pose a danger, but just exaggerated his usual mischief this time. Sandy and Terry gave Travis a 1-day house arrest. Nevertheless, the incident made headlines across the state and reached the ears of an animal control officer. This officer personally visited Sandy and voiced his concerns. He told Sandy that Travis had reached sexual maturity and that chimpanzees whose sexual desires were not satisfied during this period would have an increased tendency toward violence. He also added that an average chimpanzee has about 5 times the strength of a human, and that their aggressive side is highly unpredictable. Although the officer didn't express it explicitly, he subtly meant this to Sandy. Travis may not have attacked anyone yet, but by the time he does, it will be too late. You have a ticking time bomb on your hands. Take Travis to the sanctuary as soon as possible. Sandy ignored the warnings of this officer. Her answer was already prepared. Travis has never been violent before. Sandy not only didn't take this police officer seriously, she also concealed a very important fact from the police, a fact worthy of a movie. 2 years before Travis's traffic incident in 2003, Sandy's phone rang. The caller was an official from the sanctuary where they had gotten Travis, and he told Sandy that Travis's mother and father had escaped from the sanctuary. Travis's mother had encountered a group of friends on the street. The group was scared of the chimpanzee and got into the car. A young man named Jason from the group immediately went to his nearby home and got his rifle and killed Travis's mother. About 8 years after this incident, Travis would suffer the same fate as his mother, and Sandy didn't mention this incident to the officer. Sandy was a troubled woman. If we want to understand Travis, we need to focus not only on this chimpanzee, but also on Sandy. Because some of the problems Sandy was experiencing in her private life were reflected in her strange relationship with Travis. Sandy's life was tragic, even before the 2009 incident. Former playful, now depressed. In 2000, her daughter died in a traffic accident. Sandy fell into a severe depression after her daughter's death, and her relatives were worried that Sandy might harm herself. But Sandy still had 2 strong points of support in her life: her husband Jerry and her chimpanzee Travis. Sandy found refuge in these 2. Just as things were starting to get back on track, her husband Jerry was diagnosed with stomach cancer. All of Sandy's days were spent in the hospital by her husband's side. Jerry's condition was not good at all, and it was clear that this situation would end in death. And Jerry had only one request from Sandy before he died: to take Travis back to the sanctuary. Travis had started to become more aggressive as he got older. Also, the couple, Sandy and Jerry, were getting older. They were having difficulty taking care of Travis. Jerry was a more sensible person than Sandy, and he was sure that his wife would not be able to take care of Travis alone after he died. For this reason, he made the request to his wife to take Travis back to the sanctuary. Jerry passed away in 2004, and Sandy didn't listen to her husband. She didn't take Travis to the sanctuary. Within 4 years, she had lost both her daughter and her husband. Only Travis remained of her family. And in the process, the relationship between the 2 became even more toxic. Sandy, who previously only gave Travis fast food or junk food as a reward, was now constantly feeding Travis fast food and junk food. Travis, whose days used to be spent playing with people, now spent his whole day watching television at home or playing with the cat. He became antisocial. He weighed approximately 110 kilograms. He became an obese chimpanzee. There was no trace left of his former cheerful and playful self. He withdrew, became depressed, and took on an anxious state of mind. Travis was so tense on some days that Sandy had started giving Travis Xanax. The cup was about to overflow for Travis. Only that last drop was left. And that drop fell into the cup on February 16th, 2009. The incident.
One of the chimps that plays Gordy just hit his limit. It was 6 minutes and 13 seconds of havoc.
Sandy had a close friend named Charla. Charla was a single mother who was divorced from her husband and living with her young daughter. Sandy realized that Charla was going through difficult times, and she offered Charla a job at her car company and to stay at her house with her daughter. Charla accepted the offer but didn't stop there. Over time, she had become Sandy's personal assistant in a way. She cleaned Sandy's house, she shopped for Sandy, and even occasionally babysat Travis. Travis had started February 16th feeling tense. Sandy applied her usual tactic. She put Xanax in Travis's tea and made him drink the tea. Travis, whom she hoped would calm down, started to become even more hyperactive instead. He took the car key from the table and ran out of the house. Sandy immediately asked Charla for help. Travis had a favorite toy, an apple toy named Tickle Me. Charla took the toy in her hand and went out into the backyard in order to get Travis's attention and calm him down. She called out to Travis from a distance. As soon as Travis saw Charla, he ran quickly toward her and jumped on her with great force. Charla's face and body were covered in blood within seconds. Travis started attacking Charla like a madman. Sandy was terrified when she saw Travis, whom she saw as a child, tearing apart her closest friend. She immediately took a nearby shovel and started hitting Travis. Travis didn't even flinch. He continued tearing apart the woman. Sandy went into her house and grabbed a butcher knife. She plunged this knife into Travis with all her strength. Travis left Charla at that moment and turned around. Sandy and Travis locked eyes. After a brief stare, Travis turned back to Charla and continued attacking the woman. Sandy ran to her vehicle and locked the doors. Only one solution remained for her. She had a knife in one hand and a phone in the other. She called 911, and that terrifying call took place, with Travis's screaming sounds heard in the background.
What is the monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey's...
He ripped her face off.
He's ripped her face off?
He's trying to attack me. Please,
Okay,
hurry.
I need you to calm down a little bit. They're on the way. Can you put yourself away? I don't want the monkey attacking you.
Please, hurry up. Listen to me.
They're on the way, ma'am.
Guns. They gotta shoot him, please.
You're there with your friend. I need you to help your friend. Can you go help your
I
friend?
can't. He tried to attack me now.
Is he still there with your friend?
Yes.
Okay, so then back off. Then don't get any closer, okay? They're already on the way.
Please.
If the monkey moves away from your friend, let me know, okay? So we can try to help your friend.
No, I can't. She's dead. She's dead.
Why are you saying that she's dead?
She's dead. He ripped her apart.
He ripped what apart? Her face?
Everything.
He ripped her apart?
Listen, I think I'm gonna faint. I think I'm gonna pass out.
No, just breathe, okay? I'm gonna stay with you on the phone until they get there.
Listen to me. Please hurry. Please hurry. Oh my God. They gotta have their guns out. They gotta have their guns out. Listen to me. Oh my God.
Is this your monkey or whose monkey
Yes.
is it? It's your monkey.
No, it's mine.
How do you know how big is he? How many pounds?
200 pounds.
400?
200.
200 pounds?
Listen to me, please. Where are they? Where are they?
And he's a chimp, correct?
Yes. Where are they?
They're going your way. They're going as fast as they can your way, okay?
Please go faster. Please, Dirk. Please.
Is the monkey still by your friend, or can you get close to your friend?
He's eating her. Please.
The monkey
God,
eating
oh,
her.
please.
Okay, I need you to calm down for me. I know it's hard, okay? I know it's hard. But they're going as fast as they can your way, okay?
Oh, my God. Please. They tell them they gotta shoot him because I tried stabbing him and he's not, and it made him worse. Please tell them. Shoot him because he's gonna try to attack me now.
Just breathe, Sandra.
Shoot him!
Sandra, stay in your car.
Shoot him!
Sandra, I need you to stay in your car.
Shoot him, please! I tried stabbing him, and he's hurt now too. So he's gonna attack anybody. I can't get out of this car.
Lock your doors on your car and stay there with me.
It don't matter. He will rip the doors wide
Sandra,
open.
just do what I'm telling you to. Stay in the car. The police officers will handle it.
Please tell him to shoot him. Please tell him. Please tell him to kill him, please.
They did, Sandra. They're shooting at him already, okay?
But he's not dead.
I know. They will continue until he's dead, okay? I just need you to stay on the phone with me and breathe.
He's not dead. He's not dead. Oh, God. Oh, God.
The paramedic team arrived at the scene first, but they couldn't intervene with Charla while Travis was in this state. They waited for the police to arrive. As soon as the police arrived, Travis left Charla and this time started moving toward the police. A police officer named Frank was alone in his vehicle, and Travis wanted to get into this car. First, he tried to open the front passenger door, but the door was locked. Then he tried to open the driver's door, and suddenly the door opened. Police officer Frank and Travis were face to face. Frank looked at Travis's blood-soaked face. He pulled out his gun and fired 4 shots at Travis. Travis wasn't even knocked down by those 4 bullets. Bleeding, he went back home to his room, and after moaning for a while here, he died from blood loss. Officials immediately went to Charla's side. Charla was almost completely naked. Travis had torn all her clothes to shreds. He had torn off both of Charla's hands from her arms, but the worst part was Charla's face. Travis had torn apart Charla's eyes, nose, cheeks, jaw, hair. In short, her entire head area. In addition to the bones in her face being shattered, her brain tissue was also damaged. When they got her to the hospital, doctors managed to reattach Charla's jaw after hours of surgery. But her eyes were already blind. Charla's face was in such a terrible state that the hospital staff who cared for her were traumatized and received therapy after this incident. One of those who was traumatized and received therapy was Frank, the police officer who shot Travis. Frank said after this incident, "Wherever I look, Charla's face comes to my mind." Let's also mention a weird piece of information. While Frank was going to the scene on February 16th, he learned that the chimpanzee's name was Travis, and he had a flashback at that moment. Frank had met Travis 10 years ago. He had even played with him. 10 years later, he would be forced to fire bullets at this chimpanzee, with whom he had once played games. Moreover, the fact that Frank was traumatized and received therapy was a terrifying incident in itself. He had a police career lasting about 30 years, and who knows what all he had seen in those 30 years. But he was encountering such a horrifying sight for the first time. Similarly, the hospital staff had been exposed to various injuries in the emergency room, but they had to get therapy because they witnessed such an event for the first time. Besides the fact that the officers who witnessed the incident received therapy, we also understood the horror from Sandy's reaction on the phone. Namely, someone like Sandy who had an obsessive love for Travis, and even saw him as more than a child, constantly shouted at the operator to shoot Travis, kill Travis. When she saw Travis's attack on Charla,
Shoot him! Shoot him!
Sandra, stay in your car.
Shoot him!
Charla appeared on Oprah's television program about 8 months after the incident. Charla said in her interview that she did not remember anything about Travis's attack. And not remembering such a terrifying attack was a small consolation for her. Face transplant procedures were just beginning to become widespread at that time. Charla was offered a risky and experimental face transplant. She bravely accepted this offer and underwent a quite successful face transplant surgery. So, what happened to Sandy in the midst of all this chaos? For one, Charla's family filed a lawsuit against Sandy for a total of $50 million in compensation. But Sandy was in no state to even think about this compensation. She never left her house, avoiding the press. She couldn't clean Travis's blood for a long time. After Travis died, his body was cremated and his ashes were placed in a jar. Sandy slept every night hugging this jar. She would pass away from a heart condition just 1 year after the Travis incident. We are sure that the grief she experienced on top of all these events triggered her heart, accelerating her path to death. And, per her will, Travis's ashes were scattered on Sandy's grave. Upon learning of Sandy's death, Charla said this sentence: "Sandy was a troubled woman. Maybe she has found some peace now." The reason, the incident quickly became a worldwide, not just American, topic of discussion. And everyone had the same question in mind. Why did this chimpanzee, previously loved by the neighborhood and with no such history, suddenly engage in such an act? If he had attacked a stranger he had never met before, perhaps it could be understood to some extent. But Travis had attacked Charla, whom he had known and played with for years. One theory was related to Xanax. Although Xanax is a sedative, there's no certainty that it will have the same effect on animals as it does on humans. In fact, there is research suggesting that alprazolam, the active ingredient in Xanax, can cause side effects like hyperactivity, mania, and hallucinations in some animals. Could the Xanax Travis took on February 16th have induced hallucinatory or similar effects in him, causing him to perceive Charla as a threat and attack her? Another claim was related to Charla's appearance. Charla had dyed her hair on February 16th. She had also changed her style. She was also holding Travis's favorite Apple toy in her hand. Another theory was that Travis might not have recognized Charla because of her hair, and seeing his favorite toy in the woman's hand could have triggered his aggressive mode. But if we started listing theories about why Travis attacked, we wouldn't be able to finish, because every action of Sandy's was a separate mistake, blunder. First of all, the drinking of wine by a chimpanzee was a separate blunder. Travis wasn't eating healthy. He was obese. He couldn't mate. He couldn't socialize with his own kind. And Sandy was giving him medication as she saw fit. But putting everything else aside, adopting a chimpanzee as a pet was fundamentally a wrong idea. The thing is, chimpanzees are animals with tremendous strength. Because their entire bodies are covered in hair, sometimes we can't notice their muscles. But look at this chimpanzee. It was born without hair due to a genetic problem, and this way, his muscles are visible. This is what the muscle structure of an average chimpanzee looks like. At the same time, they do not have a stiff body structure. Despite these muscles, they have an extremely athletic physique. If a mature chimpanzee tried to attack us, our survival would truly be a miracle. Yes, Charla also survived as a result of a miracle. Sandy thought Charla was already dead during her 911 call. Even the paramedic team that arrived at the scene thought Charla was already dead. Let me tell you, we are talking about a power that could tear off both of Charla's hands from her wrists in seconds. It's near impossible for us to subdue a chimpanzee without a weapon. Let's continue with Travis. While Travis was attacking Charla, he was hit on the head with a shovel. That wasn't enough. He was stabbed several times and shot 4 times from close range. Even after all this, he was still standing. He returned to his room and slowly died from blood loss. A fully developed chimpanzee carries a horrific potential for destruction. Although, even baby chimpanzees possess a considerable amount of strength. For example, in the '96 incident, Travis was only 1 year old. His teeth were probably just starting to come in. But even a 1-year-old chimpanzee was able to violently pull that woman into the car and make her hand bleed. Sandy made the fundamental mistake right from the start by thinking this chimpanzee could be a pet. But she chose to turn a deaf ear to the warning signs throughout the process. Let's remember the 2003 incident. What would have happened if the man who threw the plastic bottle at Travis hadn't quickly run away and Travis had caught him? Sandy hadn't even listened to the warning of her husband, who was the figure who knew Travis best. She hadn't handed Travis over to the sanctuary, or giving Charla the responsibility of caring for Travis was also wrong. If she adopted Travis, only she should have been taking care of Travis. However, Sandy had made Charla a part-time caregiver for Travis. Despite everything, let's not overlook this fact. This attack could have still happened even without all these mistakes. If we had left Travis in his natural habitat and adopted the most peaceful attitudes towards him, this chimpanzee could still have attacked us. In fact, there is no need for an explanation. These animals can attack simply because they feel like it, or for a reason we humans cannot understand. After all, they are by definition a wild animal, and we humans can't always fully understand why an animal attacks. Even if Sandy had been a perfect caregiver, it was only a matter of time before Travis went wild. History has shown us countless times that chimpanzees attacked their owners, even when they didn't take Xanax or drink wine. For example, an extremely similar incident occurred 4 years before the Travis incident, in 2005. James Davis and his wife visited a chimpanzee named Moa, whom they had adopted at one time but later had to hand over to a sanctuary, and were attacked by 2 chimpanzees in this sanctuary. History has always shown us similar situations, not only with chimpanzees, but also in the interactions of other wild animals with humans, such as the killing by a bear of the documentary filmmaker Timothy, who was friends with bears, or the attack on the duo Siegfried and Roy, who performed with a tiger, by a tiger during a show. A single bad event, a misunderstanding, or a strange reason that even we humans cannot understand, is enough for these wild animals to go into attack mode. Now let's ask a question. Who was the victim of this incident? Charla, right? But let's not miss a point. There was one more victim in this whole incident, Travis. Yes, Travis was also a victim. Travis was separated from his mother when he was just 3 days old and given to Sandy and her husband. In fact, Travis's mother did not want to give up her child at first, but Travis could only be taken after the sanctuary officials tranquilized the mother. His way of life was terrifyingly unhealthy for an average chimpanzee. This incident had 2 victims, but only one culprit. The culprit's name was, of course, Sandy. As Charla and the neighbors around said, Sandy was a troubled woman. Even in the statements she made after this incident, she made it clear that she was more upset for Travis than for Charla. She described what she experienced while plunging the knife into Travis to save Charla as follows. Stabbing him with the knife felt like stabbing myself with a knife. When he turned and looked at me, his eyes seemed to say, "Mom, what did you do?" Sandy hadn't learned her lesson, even after all this disaster. After the incidents, she went and tried to buy another chimpanzee. Of course, the government would prevent her this time. The letter she wrote to a chimpanzee sanctuary after her husband died showed how troubled a mind Sandy had. It goes without saying. After spending 45 years with the most wonderful man in the world, Travis and I are lost without him, and we miss my husband very much. Travis is still waiting for him, especially at dinner time, because Travis and my husband used to drink a glass of wine at dinner, and if my husband cooked something, you could bet it had garlic in it. Try having 2 males breathe garlic breath into your sleeping hour. Many nights, Travis goes to the bedroom window. He looks outside and drifts into thought. Then he would go back to sleep. This always happened very late at night. Finally, I went to a medium, and the medium told me that my husband comes at night, talks to Travis, and gives me a goodnight kiss through Travis. Note: Travis and my husband also kiss in the same way, and that works for me. Sandy tried to fill the void left by her deceased daughter with Travis, but that wasn't enough. She also tried to fill the void left by her deceased husband with Travis. Travis had become something between her child and her husband. So why did Sandy choose a chimpanzee as a pet instead of a dog or a cat? I think this is where her selfish and narcissistic side comes into play. Sandy felt an ego gratification from the idea of domesticating this powerful and wild animal. She fell into the illusion that she could change Travis's nature and mold him into the design she wanted. But she learned the hard way that a wild nature cannot be changed. If we are looking for a tiny glimmer of hope in this whole terrifying incident, it was Charla's struggle to hold on to life. People were impressed by her determination to live and her calmness in the face of such an event. We didn't see Charla rebelling or losing herself in the interviews she participated in. She had an "it is what it is" attitude. When asked how she could stay so strong, Charla replied, "I have had this attitude since forever. No matter what happens to me, I somehow get through it." The ending of this terrifying story, marked by Charla's will to live, offered us a ray of hope. While we admire her incredible strength, the continuation of such in-depth research and stories is only possible with your support. If you found this content interesting and informative, please don't forget to subscribe. Your likes and comments help these types of stories reach a wider audience. See you in the next research file case. Take care.